Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another interesting episode of the B.H.M show. This particular one is something that is going to blow off your mind. But before we go there, I remain your host, Bona Efwa, and with me here, it's a very beautiful, beautiful guest. Can we meet you, ma?
My name is Sonny Marvelous.
What do you do?
I'm an educationist.
Okay, so when you hear the word heartbreak, what comes to your mind? What experience comes to mind? Okay.
That's the experience.
So what's that one heartbreak that's, it's vivid in your memory? What really happened?
That would be the first heartbreak I experienced. It was quite a long relationship. I was quite young. I think I was still in secondary school then. It was more like a Christian kind of relationship because his father happened to be a pastor, and you understand what I mean by Christian relationship, no sex and all that. I met him while I was in secondary school because I was in a mass choir. So he was an instrumentalist and also part of a member of a choir. So we were together. He puts me through on anything that has to do with education and making a decision about life decisions and all that. And we're together until I got into the university and all. And I was in a band then.
This was for how many years?
It was close to 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. I was in a band, and my band, I was in church, we were supposed to have an outing that day, a wedding, and then I took permission because I also had a wedding in the church I attend, and my band leader said, okay, fine. But all of a sudden he called me and said, no, I need to be in that wedding. I needed to be in that wedding. I was like, but sir, I already took permission that I have to be because I was the lead vocalist of my church back then. He said, he's sending someone to the church that he needs me to be at that wedding. I was like, why should I be at the wedding all of a sudden? I had to wait until the person they sent arrived at my church, and I left because the distance wasn't that much. So I went and I was singing. At first I saw the lady. I was like, because this supposed guy actually told me about her and how, because they attend the same church. He told me how she disturbs him and all that. So,
she disturbs him?
Yeah, how she disturbs him and all that. So when I finally saw that it was her wedding, I was like, thank God that this lady will allow my guy rest and, And so I was singing. I was happily singing, thinking, okay, my guy is free from this lady and all, but time for the groom to come in. Then I said, you are the one going to sing. Marvelous, you're the one, please give her the mic. She's the one who's going to sing. Okay. I was like, why this whole love all of a sudden, sir? What's the whole? So I started singing, and some friends were in front and all that. As they were coming forward, they were clearing, giving way, and I know that. And then I rose my head and I saw that. Hello. At first, I paused. I paused for a while, but backup singers will keep singing, and my band leader was like, "Come on!" I think he did that because he knew. Yes, he knew we were in a relationship. And he had been trying to get into a relationship with me, and I said no, that he knows the guy I'm having a relationship with and all that. But
he wanted to help you.
So I think he did that on purpose, telling me that I must come. So it was after then, he said, "Show TV." So I don't know. I don't know.
So did you stop singing, or you kept on singing?
In fact, from that moment, I just don't know what happened. The only thing I noticed was I saw myself leaving. So I don't know if I continued singing or somebody continued singing, or I don't know what happened. That's within like 10-15 minutes. I just didn't know what happened, but I noticed I was leaving. And then he ran after me and all of that. So that was it. It wasn't an easy one.
How were you able to heal? Because and how long did it take you to heal?
It took me a while because I developed this hatred for guys. So I didn't give room for anybody coming. I didn't get into any relationship at all, and it was becoming serious. That even at my place of work, complaints of I don't look at the guys. I don't give them opportunity. Even in church, I don't give the guys opportunity. And in fact, where I stayed, like even in school, my lecturers taught that I was actually married, or maybe I wasn't a Nigerian. I got married to a Nigerian person because of the way I speak or something. So they all thought I was married because I don't even look at anyone's face. And thank God I have everything I wanted or I want, so I don't look at anybody's face too, So it took me a while. It took me a while before I could get into another relationship. There are sometimes that period I will be going out and thinking of how come, what happened, what
there
did
was
I
no
do
sign
wrong?
whatsoever.
There was no. The point is, we weren't fighting. We weren't fighting. He actually went to a Pastorian. I attended the Pastorian at the Peru with him. I had to leave work to go to that Pastorian. So I attended his matric and at the Peru, you can imagine, and all that too. I was like, okay, fine. We were getting along, and I was like, okay, he's going to be a pastor, so it means I'm going to be a pastor's wife. So, and how did this happen? At what point and all that? I'll be going out. I'm passing my bus stop. I'm passing my streets. I just don't know what I'm doing. It was a terrible one. But
what did you do how were you able to move on from that? Because it's not so easy to move on. What were the things you did?
It took me a while to accept it that had happened, because I had to ask for us to see. And then he gave me reasons like he just got back from school. His father stays in a church. They usually have this parsonage in church. So he just got into his room. There used to be these ladies who go to parsonage to clean every Saturday. They wash, they clean, they do the little things they can do. And so she happened to be one of those ladies who go to parsonage to work. So he just got into his room. Either she was in the bathroom or he was in the bathroom or she came out, or I don't even know what happened, but the truth is they met and that was how they had it. So they had it just that first time. That was the first and only time they had it, and he went back to school. Then after a while, his dad called him and said, you need to come back home. And he was wondering what the problem was because his father didn't tell him what really happened. And I was like, okay, but you didn't need to get married to her. It's a mistake. He said the father threatened him. The father said if he doesn't do this, he's going to do that. I said, and so? So it's the one thing. And so I told him, okay, fine, just leave her. This is just introduction.
You have not even come to terms with it.
I said, okay, leave her. You know what? We're going to take full responsibility of her and the pregnancy and when the child is born, because I've heard, because I started asking questions. Some persons who knew us then started telling so many stories that he had been in a relationship with her before, but he said it was a lie. And I said, okay, fine. To prove to me that all of those were lies, then don't get married to her. Tell the parents we are going to take full responsibility of the pregnancy and the baby when the baby is born. Besides, we're going to do a paternity test to know if it's actually yours, because I've heard she has some other person And then he said, okay. So I kept believing in my heart that, okay, he has accepted, nothing is happening, it's just an introduction, nothing is happening, blah, 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 and all that. And then okay, my job back then takes me around, so I wasn't around, and I got a call that he's got the second baby. Wow. And I was like, that was when I now realized that, okay, like the first one was actually a mistake. And then what do we call the second one? Like, and it wasn't that easy. How I got over it, I really cannot say. It took me, I just developed this, will I call it hatred for guys? No, I just don't want to have anything to do with that. And I see anyone coming, and then my place of work, the guys then called me sadists. and I got all sort of names and just that. So I don't know. The truth is, I can't even say how I got over it. But one thing is, when I feel that way, I just got myself very busy. I get either with work or with church things or just go out with family. I just ensure that I try to. It wasn't an easy one though, because for years I didn't get into any relationship. I hated guys. I hated the word relationship, and especially with an opposite sex. I just didn't want to. I just want to be friends. And then back then too, my company was we go out a lot. Once we are on leave, everyone's either we're traveling or we're going to the beach or we're going to the mall. We just some weekends we could just say, okay, let's go out. So I just got myself busy with so many activities, and as time went on, it took me a while. It took me a while, seriously. It took me a while. I would say maybe it was when my husband approached me that I started telling myself that, okay, now this one has come. If you don't get serious with this, people will start, because people were actually thinking, that, okay, I was the one with the problem because I was being selective. I was being, because I had a couple of things while I was single, so they thought, okay, because of all of those things I didn't want to get, I wasn't a wife material, I was going to be submissive, so that was their judgment, but they didn't know what I was going through. I just felt, okay, this man has come, he's serious, and let me just, it was even when, the church I was attending, their procedures to get married. It was when I was going through that procedures, I got so many comments that the brothers in the church were not happy with me because I was always looking down. I was always looking down on them. Oh, wow. I don't ever give, and I was like, sir, nobody ever approached me because they said I usually wear this look like there's this wall I built around me that when they get to that wall, there's no way to penetrate into it, so they just go back. And well, I never knew I built that wall. That's the truth. I never knew, not until I wanted to get married, and how my husband broke that wall, I don't know. He's a superhero.
I was about to how was he able to penetrate?
How he was able to, I don't know, but I'm sure he is a superhero for winning me, because it wasn't an easy one. If I say I didn't get a couple of guys around yet, I won't, but I didn't know the walls were just around me. But so he's a lucky one. If
you had the power to do something differently, then what would you have done differently?
That got me thinking. I was thinking about a whole lot of things when this happened. I was like, okay, could it be because I didn't allow him to have sex with me, or could it be because I didn't allow him to touch me, or could it be because I just kept asking myself so many things, and I just felt, well, what's not meant to be is not meant to be. What's meant to be will definitely happen. And then it was from there I came up with this slogan for myself that what would be would be. It might take time, but it will definitely happen. So the only thing I told myself is just keep working on yourself and be good and achieve what you need to achieve. When the time is right, what will come your way will come your way.
All right, people, I hope you heard her. It's not so easy coming out of that kind of breakup. No, you're thinking in your so-called boyfriend's wedding. Wow. I don't know what to picture it, because everybody. But anyway, she was able to, heal and move on. How did she move on? She got busy. She didn't just stay moping while she was thinking, and how did I go wrong? But then she didn't just sit down there like, I think the next thing is for me to go and commit suicide. No, she just worked on herself, got busy, went out, have fun. Not because they break your heart, you can't sit down, can't say, have fun, love yourself, be happy. All right, beautiful people, I hope you enjoyed this particular section, because trust me, the next one is going to be lit. Till I come your way, I remain your host, Bona Efwa.